Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Monday, September 20th at 11:46 a.m. We're going to look at the chart. We're going to look at ES. We're going to look at S&P futures. I'm not going to go too deep down the legacy financial rabbit hole other than broad strokes on the topics that are in play. Debt, China, rolled over, housing market, catastrophe, Lehman Brothers 2008 China edition. You can define it however you want. There's turmoil in all these markets because it's leveraged beyond anything that's remotely reasonable. Imagine having 50K in your bank account and like $20 million worth of debt. If you're a private citizen, that's how insane it sounds. Crazy. But that's where the system got to. And we saw it in 08. We saw it a bunch of times over the last decade, and we clearly saw it last year in 2020. And now we're seeing it out in China, where if the debt pops and debt payments can't be made, debt unravels. And that's an extreme deflationary pressure, which ripples through the markets, triggering base effects and all those fancy phrases that the macroeconomists want to throw around. It ripples out. Shit gets spicy. Something like that. Well, let's take a look at the charts. And we're going to dig deep today, boys and girls. I didn't make any trades. I got nothing to trade. My positions have nothing to do with the price point. I know where my capital is. I know where it belongs. I know the time frames, the time horizons. I know the people that are building these protocols. I know why they're building these protocols. I know the function of the protocols and what they do for me. What the heck does that have to do with the price point? Now, I know it's complicated and difficult because certain people could be late to the party, and you watch, put 10 grand into. Let's pull up the charts. I'll show you the implications if you put 10 grand into Curve yesterday. Or if you put 10 grand in the Curve 18 months ago. It does have there's a different reaction that you feel, but we the same time horizon applies. 5 to 10 years. Let's dig in. This is when to dig deep. This is when we are defined. Today's episode is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social good. Stop depositing on exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto, non-custodial, DeFi, or nothing at all. Bam! Let's pop it over to the main screen and see who's in the stream. Got Zach in the house, Iran, Bitcoin Bro, Rupert, Morlabi, Barry. I don't need to hang in there. I'm cool as a cucumber. My pop used to like to say that. God, may rest in peace. I got work to do. I got what's going on in the crypto space, and I love it. This is when markets are born. This is when people define themselves. This is when markets define themselves. This is when a market shows what it is in the face of volatility from a traditional financial perspective. If the crypto space is ever going to diverge from the legacy bullshit, this is the type of market environment where it's going to show its hand. Market environment collapses. It's a ridiculous implosion. The crypto space dips. People lose 50% of their money, and everyone's like, where are we going to put our money? Are we going to pile back into the same legacy garbage? No, they pile back into the crypto space. If anything is going to trigger such a scenario, it's going to be a remarkable deflationary impulse. I don't think we're there yet, but a breach of the 100 SMA on the daily for S&P futures, that blue line, that's going to have people's emotions going. Deeply, you made the stream today. What a cheat. I need some grounding after looking at my portfolio. Yeah, I'm down a cool 600 grand. Iran Evergrande panic today. Yeah, suffice it to say, Zach Cosmos keeping its head above the drain. Very much so. Come on, that's the biggest, a ridiculous narrative. I got all my narratives. I tell stories. The China story and Cosmos and the BSN and the digital yuan, if that's not bullish, ridiculously bullish for whatever, capital gets destroyed in legacy finance, That's where capital's going to go. That is so damn bullish. That's crazy. Lewis, my man, Mim, Magic Internet Money, Stablecoin, to what degree is it a game changer? To me, the stablecoin narrative, which has recently come on my radar, probably in the last 2 to 4 weeks, is the biggest narrative that I am hanging my hat on. It is hard to describe the sentiment, the thought, the emotion that I experience when I contemplate the scope of the narrative. The China narrative is hot. That's not going anywhere. The India narrative was hot. It's slowing down, but India is a long term play. It's the economy is hit hard, so on and so forth. But we know the people are there, the engineers are there, the kids are there, and they're hungry. So over the next 5 to 10 years, it's a solid narrative. Nothing has been disrupted about that narrative. Just in the meantime, is other narratives that are going to be more of a center of focus, attention, and appreciation. The stablecoin narrative is massive, massive, massive. The regulation of historic stablecoins, starting with Tether, USDC, and which has an effect on MakerDAO's DAI because DAI is significantly collateralized by USDC. So what does that mean? What does that mean? You know, they're going to play ball. They're on the radar of regulators. They're corporations, so they have targets for enforcement. What is the crypto space? What is it? It's a place where you can go, where you have shadowy supercoders that are brilliant. I mean, serious savants of software engineering and tokenomics and monetary policy that have built and are further um, iterating on stablecoins that have nothing to do with US dollars. Now, what's fascinating is it reminds me of synthetics. You know, all you need is data. You get the price of gold, you can make assets that have the price of gold, digital assets that have the price of gold. S gold. So why are you going to do Pax gold or Tether's gold, whatever the ticker is, or SGLD, synthetics gold, which is a gold asset that's priced to gold? And you're playing the gold price from a futures perspective, a derivative perspective. So that's what I see the future of stablecoins being. You don't need dollars in a bank account. What you need is proper monetary policy, proper algorithms that handle collateralization, that handle liquidation, and it's very much what Aave does from a banking and over collateralized debt perspective. And data, you need data. So we have data, we have market data. We don't need necessarily market data from legacy finance. We have market data from crypto-centric oracles. And that's something that, you know, Andre likes to play with significantly. And folks know you get your crypto data from Uniswap and you get real world data from Chainlink, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I think what the market sorely needs and will have is crypto stablecoins that have nothing to do with the legacy financial system, the banking system, are censorship resistant because they're made by shadowy supercoders, so they're regulation proof. I mean, who are you going to go after? You're going to track someone down in another country that says, oh, this is a great idea. So the other country's like promoting it and supporting it. And the US is like, all right, we really can't do anything about it. It's a stable coin, but what can we do? There's no target for enforcement. You can't do anything from a software perspective. It's the biggest narrative right now, in my mind, by far. I just tickled pink. I think there's 4 assets. 4. I'm only deployed to 3. Biggest position is Spell. That's crazy. It's been like 2 months and it was low, but this narrative started to form. I had a Spell position speculatively, but about a month ago, it really started to click and the narrative started to solidify. And then, what was it 2 weeks ago? 2, 3 weeks ago? You know, when Daniel mentions on Twitter the the 18 persons from the OTC deal, I participated. I have no interest in liquidating. I it's You always have to play your cards right, so it's not bet the farm on anything. Everything has volatility. I mean, we can look at the volatility right here. But I took part and took a position, and this is where I want my capital be. It's a revenue generating asset, it's a productive asset where debt is used to have a constant buy pressure on the asset. And that's extraordinary because it manifests in a stablecoin. So the protocol is self sustaining in that regard. It generates revenue, but part of that revenue is used to sustain and encourage price appreciation of the governance asset. Clearly, there's no DAO yet. So this is all extraordinary early stages. Liquidity is just spreading across the chains. Um, this is the big. This has the momentum and the critical mass spread as compared to probably even Terra. So the four assets in my books, not in any specific order, are Spell because of MIM, US Terra because of UST, and Keeper because of Andre's fixed forex, and FXS because of Frax. I think they change everything with regard to stablecoins. I don't know which one will be more successful, but that's not the point. The point is the narrative. The narrative will be successful. Where you deploy capital is always speculative, no matter what. But the narrative is one of those obvious damn narratives. And when I sniff out a narrative, you know what happens. It's pretty obvious. So, that's my opinion, Lewis. This entire last couple minutes was Lewis's question. To what degree is it a game changer? I would like to specifically answer the question. MIM, Spell, FXS, Keeper, and Terra. One or all massive game changer for the crypto space and stablecoins. It's all too obvious that USDC, USDT, and DAI will have a competitor or maybe something that is significantly disruptive of their historic entrenchment. And those four protocols make the most sense to be them. Julie Ong's in the house. What's up, Noah? I'm okay. I'm okay. Captain's in the house. All that matters is conviction. The blockchain technology will continue to be adopted. 5 to 10 years, you got revenue producing assets and everything goes 10 to 100x in the portfolio. Pretty sure you're going to be fine. Take your time. Find your conviction. I'm watching it go down. I'm watching it go up. It is what it is. You know who's lost? You know who loses? These people. They get nothing for their fucking money. You buy the S&P, you get nothing. You're getting nothing. You're buying something that does nothing for you. Doesn't help you. It doesn't give you revenue. It doesn't give you a salary. The narrative sucks. I'm going to buy a basket of shit of companies that are underwater in debt attached to a legacy financial system where the sovereign debt bubble is about to be blown out of the water. It's the shittiest narrative I could think of. Holy crap, we just went from the most ridiculously awesome narrative of stable coins and censorship resistance and getting away from the legacy actors in the space and how awesome a disruption of the stablecoin ecosystem will be to this shit. Look at that. The narrative is horrible. You can't have a bigger contrast of awesomeness and now what's on the screen. Bleh. There's nothing here. Companies are drowning. The whole system is going to be restructured. Just told you guys there was going to be a bunch of rants today. Hello, Lisa. A pleasure. Chris, love the title. Conviction being tested. I'm more bullish on DeFi and crypto than ever. Yes, I feel the same way. I'm only down a couple of million USD denomination. I would expect many people are down as much as myself and more than myself and more than you as well. Someone rolling around with 9 figures is probably down a good 7, 8 figures today. Pizza shop. I told some family the real estate metaphor, not even the pizza shop, because a lot of folks are into real estate. You buy a property for $2 million, and it has like 8 apartments, generating $16,000 a month. First off, the ROI on that sounds like shit. So I don't know who the hell's buying an apartment to have 8 people paying you 16 grand a month. That sounds stupid. You're getting nothing on your money. What a waste of time and effort, including maintenance, all the expenses, so on and so forth. But if that property dips to $1 million and he's still making 16 grand a month, what the heck? Nobody's selling their property. They want their money, their salary, which they live off of. They pay their electric, they pay their heat, they're paying their bills. People live off salary. And if you're living off principal, you're a day trader. And your anxiety is probably through the roof. That's no way to live. What we all want, whether you know it or not, it should be stability, consistency, income, where your assets are doing work for you so you don't have to do work for you. That changes everything. That's what changes the life. Because that is different than the way everyone lives their life. Work, work, work. No. Assets do work for you, so you could do the work you want to do. You could be free and make choices without pressure or fear of talking or fear of leaving a job and going to another job. When you're financially free, all right, I'll go to another job. It's all good. I'm here. I am at my job because I want to be there. They deserve my opinions and my technical skill set. It might be a little cushy because I'm not really under much pressure because I'm relatively financially free, but I certainly contribute. And it's obviously the company's choice whether I contribute enough, and that's where communication is appropriate. But that's freedom freedom to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And I surely want to be productive, but I don't want the financial burden. I know where my assets belong in order to achieve that. Whether they get hit hard in the short term or not, there's no difference because I know where things will be. It's all too obvious at this point. Man, this chart looks horrible. Damn, look at that. I don't even want to look at what the headlines are like on mainstream media. I mean, this thing looks like it's about to hit the 100 SMA. That's crazy sauce. Let's zoom out. I want to zoom out a little bit. I mean, this thing, last time it hit the 100 SMA, it breached it to the downside in November. So this is the first time it's, was it 10 months, almost 11 months at this point, October. This is the first time you got a big hit in the broad indexes. How do you like them apples? Hey, Noah, that the grand panic. That's right. William, I'm betting on India. That's why I still like Matic. I still like Matic too, and we all have our choice. And you hang your hat on the narrative. It could be a long time, but I think that it's a solid narrative. I think the L2s, the side chains, and all these secondary EVM compatible networks, they're all going to have their place. There's just too much growth. There's too much potential for it to be overly concentrated, and surely not on Ethereum mainnet. Ethereum mainnet is for wealthy people. And anyone who has a feeling about Ethereum L1 going, no, it's not going anywhere. That's where wealthy people operate. You think wealthy people are going to say, fuck it, I want to work for peanuts? No, they want to work on Ethereum L1 because that's where the security is. And that's where the big players are, that's their playground. But now you got some other chains where you could do some serious stuff if you don't want to spend that kind of money. Play your playground and don't hate on the playgrounds. A lot of playgrounds out there. I don't see anyone hating on Fifth Avenue. I mean, you got $10,000 pants here, $25,000 watches here, $1,000 shoes over here. You walk down Fifth Avenue and say, oh, one day maybe I could get shit like that. So one day maybe you'll be able to play on Ethereum L1 with the damn gas fees. It's just Fifth Avenue. You don't have to be angry at it. Hit up Avalanche. That's where I'm playing. I think Joe's going to be ridiculous. I think Phantom has much potential, but I think Avalanche Rush is going to be a rush. Avalanche Rush is going to polygon the shit out of the market. That's going to pull some Aave and Curve. The incentives is going to be one heck of a monetary velocity that occurs on Avalanche. Damn, this chart keeps going down. Let's look at some crypto charts. I think Joe had a nice B wave app. It's still holding on. I mean, obviously, this is the 1 hour. That was a nice rip to the upside over 2 hours. Damn. That's big buy action. So it's not a big C wave. A C wave, an ABC correction, would be down here. Buck 60, 50, something like that. Look at that candlestick on the daily. That's extraordinary. People looking at these charts, man, this is incredible. I mean, look at this chart compared to that. I mean, clearly this is older, and that is just down. That is straight down. Probably just on the daily. If you're looking at just the daily, look at this hammer. That is a massive, massive hammer. And then you look at just wicked. That is crazy. This is Curve. Let's take a look at Curve real quick. Curve hit off the 200 SMA above the 200 EMA and found support on the 100 SMA on the 4 hour. Guppies are barely starting to turn gray. I tweeted yesterday that I hit my target amount quantity of CVX-CRV yesterday, and I bought. And I've been trying to get to this target amount for months at this point because it only comes from the gains, because it gets compounded. And I finally hit my target. So you didn't hear the word selling anywhere in there. No, I finally got as much as I want. Would be thinking about selling it? That'd be insanity. I think this particular asset is going to be the salary generator. This is the apartment building. This is the pizza shop for me. This is my choice. And I respect my choice. And I sure as hell am not going to let fear and greed get in the way of my choice and how to respect the way I see current financial markets, current governments, international geopolitics, all the bullshit that's going on. This is the best thing that's going on right now on this pretty shitty day. And it has nothing to do with the price. Price action does not affect the narrative at all. Thoughts on entering spell at current prices? Not something for me to help with. Taking positions is very hard, especially when something is up big. You can say a lot of things about the chart. Clearly, if you got in and you're up 5, 6, 7x on your money, you're happy. And maybe you could double down, add a little bit to the position. So it's right below all-time high, Ethereum denominated. Plenty of reasons for a cup and handle, plenty of reasons for depreciation. Maybe the entire financial system collapses. Plenty of reason it breaks out and it enters price discovery. Risk tolerance, DCA, long-term conviction and time horizons. I don't have, unfortunately, many opinions about taking a position. I have those ideas that I conveyed, but I cannot I cannot help whether it goes up or down. I would never know. All of that is separate and apart from the narrative. But the consideration here is if you take a position now and it loses 50%, you're going to have double the position if you wait and take the position. So that's the only thing for me. It's not losing however much may get lost in a deflationary impulse. If I bought $500,000 and it went down 50%, it's not the loss of the $250,000 that would piss me off. It's the fact that I could have had twice as much. Ha! How about that one? Alex, how, where to deploy with spell? Me, I just spot and hold it in S spell. I think there's going to be very productive ways to put S spell to work. Maybe an S spell pairing that Daniel's been hinting at. So, speculative in that regard, but MIM hits up and starts to disrupt legacy stables. Debt payments are going to go through the roof, and spell could easily be a significant revenue producer, double-digit returns, so on and so forth. Daniel, what's up? Noah, thoughts on Binance Smart Chain? Zero interest. Zero interest. Sir Joe, present and accounted for. Yes, sir. JJ, hello, Noah. Looks like our conviction is being tested. I welcome it. Test the damn conviction. A day like today isn't necessarily just about convictions being tested. This is when things start. This gets the political actors into gear, juices the wheels at the Fed, gets people all riled up. Oh, the system is going to collapse. The system's going to collapse. And I know damn well where I want my capital, or my faith and interest and belief and knowledge and engineering experience and software experience. These are the assets that respect me. Sure as hell isn't this stuff. Now, bear in mind, this is a broad equity index. I do have my securities in battery metal miners, but that shit gets bullied. That is bullied and pushed around by governments and policies and corporate VC vultures. It's a tragedy, but I do respect my opinion that the battery metals transformation, the energy transformation, is going to be some serious shit. Are we going to watch this thing break the 100 SMA live on stream? This is a serious candle. Right about now, folks in the market are starting to panic. That's serious. That is a serious candle. We haven't seen that in a while. CVX held above the guppies thus far on the daily. That's quite interesting. So CVX is not an asset that I'm interested in. I mean, clearly from a technology standpoint, the fact that it's a governance asset is meaningful. But for me, from a portfolio perspective, it's a protocol treasury asset. So that's the narrative that I define and I hang my hat on. It's for protocols to control the current monetary policy, which is a money machine. And I'm starting to really like the MMT narrative, or the story that could be told about how what's occurring in the crypto space is very much consistent with MMT. And we have currency producers, and we have monetary policies that handle the inflationary and deflationary forces. And that's basically high level what MMT is. So if anyone's a damn currency producer, it's Curve. Alex, love Noah's rants. Thank you. I get a little emotional sometimes. Diesel Hound, preach baby, pure gold. Thank you. What's your potential bear market goal? Is it like provide liquidity, get income, accumulate coins you like? Yeah, that's not just my bear market goal. That's my bull market goal. I am not selling my assets. I'm not experiencing capital gains. I'm not going to pay the government 33% of my hard-earned work. I chose these assets because of some serious foresight, some serious time horizon, some speculative spice. The last thing I'm going to do is sell my shit and give the government a third of it. Those fuckers. Sorry, I just got a little I got a little emotional there. So bear market, bull market, what I want is yield. What I want is digital property. What I want is digital business. I want digital pizza shops. I want to be making $5,000 a day without having to do any work. That's the goal. The goal isn't to turn $1,000 into $1,000,000. What are you going to do with $1,000,000? When it costs you $100 for a loaf of bread, I don't want $1,000,000. $1,000,000 does nothing for me. $1,000,000 making 20%. Now you're talking. So the problem is, if you turn $1,000 into $1,000,000 and you sell the $1,000,000 worth of assets, you're going to have to cough up 300,000 and give it to the IRS. So you need a bit of a different strategy. If you take that $1,000,000 and never experience capital gains and you're able to crank out 20% on it, now you win. But if you take if you liquidate the $1,000,000 and you got to fork over 300,000 and you got 700 left, and now you're trying to make 20%, you just lost 300,000 protection money from the federal government. Dip it into your pocket, taking your hard-earned gains. Bull market, bear market is the same for me. No strategy change whatsoever. Thoughts on DeFi FUD about futures regulation. I look forward to all the damn regulation. It's going to be the showdown of all showdowns. Regulation versus the unregulatable. Decentralized. Web3, shadowy supercoders, monetary policy, MMT, monetary velocity, inflation, deflation, stuff that legacy finance has no grasp of. They can't do anything about it. Let's see what unfolds, and all I know, whether it unfolds good or bad, in the end, everything that I do in the crypto space, I'm respecting my opinion. I got conviction in my opinion. This is where I belong. And this is what I want to do. I didn't sell a damn thing today. That's me respecting myself. DGen 20x shorts. Oh, goodness gracious. Can you give me an aneurysm with that shit? Vending machine analogy might work better. Sure, same thing. Pizza shop, real estate, 10,000 vending machines cranking out $1,000 a day. Very nice. All that stuff is the same analogy, my friend. What do you think about selling on a CUSD? I don't have enough to make an opinion about it. What's your thoughts on Ren Team increasing fees for security implementation? Great core. Great core. H to H. Woo! Ren is Ren. Ren VM is a ridiculous narrative. Big deal. Cross-chain interoperability. Cross-chain liquidity flow. Seamless cross-chain for ERC20s and, stables, whatever. Big deal. Big deal. I mean, what else am I supposed to say? I've had Ren Darknodes, Ren VM since March of 2020. ASNet wasn't even released yet. So I got my conviction. I'm pretty sure that sell them now. That'd be crazy to sell. I've had them for a year and a half. I've watched Ren at $1.70, $1.80. That thing ripped up high. I held it to 30, 40 cents on the downside. It was just at 89. It was just at $1. It was just at $1 until till today's insanity. Truly, hey Noah, how do you place your capital and protocols you want to try? Do you just put all your money in one, save on gas fees? You put thousands of dollars at a time. I have 6 core portfolio positions. I am old for crypto, meaning I was playing around in DeFi summer 2020. I was buying all sorts of crap in 2017. And I watched a lot of losses in 2018, and I put a lot of capital in 2019. I bought $3,000 Bitcoin in 2020 when the system was collapsing. So how do I answer your question? It's important to try protocols. It's important to find your understanding of what they're doing, how they're doing it. You got to digest their monetary policies, so I'm not going to tell anyone not to experiment. Okay, here, this is probably the best thing to say. 1% to 10% changes a portfolio. So when you're saying save on gas. You're probably thinking about Ethereum L1. Play around in Avalanche, Phantom, and Polygon. I think Harmony One's going to catch up as well, and obviously Solana, but they're just like a walled garden at this point until H to H from Ren kicks online. By the way, who do you think runs Ren VM from a business standpoint? It's FTX, and who's going to be the primary bridge for Solana? Ren VMs. So, point being, take 1% of your portfolio, play around. You can play around. You play around with a little something here and there because you got to understand what the hell these things do in order to find conviction on where to deploy 20% of your portfolio, 30% of your portfolio. 90% of my portfolio is 6 positions. Food for thought. I don't have an exact prescription or strategy for you to deploy, but I could just share with you what I've done and what I do. I tell them that Calcutta call center scammers, they pay Mother 2 Polygon to do something nasty after I waste some of their time. Oh man, there's some great content on YouTube to fight back against the scammers. Elliot NS, how do you reconcile your new narrative around decentralized stablecoins, MIM USD Frax, with the fact that you have large positions tied to Curve Convex? Oh yeah, someone asked me that shortly on Twitter, shortly ago. Curve and Convex is a forex market that handles stablecoins, mutually exclusive. So the forex market is a ridiculous money machine, along with the monetary policy, which is basically the MMT the currency creator. So that's another story. But forex markets, especially the fact that there's admin fees, which are generating transaction fees for the protocol, as well as the governance participants, which is in the form of VECRV, which has the derivative asset CVXCRV. So, what are part of my 6 core positions? Frax, FXS, Spell, UST. I can't own everything I want to own. I have a small position in Keeper. Small. It's not part of the core 6 positions. But same thing, you can't own everything you want to own. And obviously the biggest position is CVXCRV, to own the money market, the currency producer, the currency issuer, and the basis for the most successful MMT experiment in DeFi, Curve. Your confidence is humbling. You're welcome, Alex. My confidence is unquestionable at this point. My conviction is beyond conviction. And it comes a little bit from anger because these people are stupid. They're about to watch this shit fall apart, and all those people with the meme stocks and all that crazy shit that happened over the last year and a half, they bought garbage companies. Raul says it's the best, the tech. It's all tech that's interesting and exciting. We watch Tesla and Microsoft and Apple go vertical. Fine. At least if you're playing the stupid legacy markets and you bought that, at least there was logic and reason. It makes sense for Apple and Microsoft and Tesla and Nvidia and AMD and all the stuff that is tech related. Makes sense for that stuff to go absolutely rocket ship vertical. But if you're talking about companies, unfortunately, the small companies, the moderate companies, the companies involved in U.S. domestic manufacturing and horribly and tragically mom and pop shops and small, they're going to get destroyed. This whole thing is a farce of tragic, epic proportions. But the people that know nothing about engineering and science and technology and software, they spent the last year and a half just buying everything. And now it's getting obliterated because there's no reason for it to go up. There's no growth. Debt bubbles imploding in China, and it'll carry over with base effects everywhere else. You know who will hold up well? Let's take a look real quick. I mean, they're probably going to get hammered as well. It's a deflationary impulse. But that looks pretty good on the daily. I would never buy it in a million years, but I mean, come on, you're talking about on a day that the S&P looks like that from a tech perspective. Tesla's down, whatever. That looks like a blip on the radar. Ooh, a little gap down there. Because the tech, it's about tech. And that. If you look at the S&P 500 ES, S&P futures, and you look at the Tesla chart right there, that's Raul's narrative and play. The world crumbles, but tech is islanded. Tech is islanded. It's behaving differently. How you evaluate the risk in hacks and protocols? I don't buy anything that has any risks or the potential for hacks. What are you buying? You buying shitcoin 2? Shibasaurus? This is not DeFi Summer 2020, guys. Sorry. I don't mean to sound like that sometimes, but don't buy shit. Don't buy popsicle. Well, okay. Well, don't buy corn pop flakes or Snow Factory or I don't know, whatever sounds ridiculous that some kid made. What you want is the best of the best. You want to buy the stuff that's already up. You want stuff that's time tested, mother approved, and that is how. And then you got to extend your time horizon. So I don't have the best answers today. This is a very much a ranting and raving kind of day. So this is not the entire stream thus far is not talking about new participants and how to acclimate to the volatility of the crypto space. I'm not in that mindset today, my friends, but maybe later this week. You guys know I talk about that often and how to acclimate to the realities of what we deal with on a daily basis. Some serious emotions, serious volatility, serious anxiety. Not me today. I'm content. I watched 600-700 grand at the dip today. It's back up, and I don't know. All that matters is the damn revenue stream. The apartment building still stands. The pizza shop still cranking out pizza. Huh. How do you evaluate? No, I handle that. Goncalo, percent of your portfolio deployed to stablecoin 0%, my friend. Zach, if Avalanche doesn't fix their expensive gas, they would dry up with other incentives. AVAX stake ends soon, and I'm very tempted to liquidate to add to my Atom staking position. Yeah, Atom Cosmos, it has much more traction than Polkadot parachains right now. Okay, that you do that. Avalanche is hot. For me, I think Avalanche is next to receive some significant monetary velocity. I don't. What gas is 203. All right, fine. Maybe I'm not cranking out transactions today. I cranked out like $500,000 worth of transactions yesterday with 2 failed transactions on 1 inch that cost me $500. That was annoying. So I don't think Avalanche needs to fix anything. I think they're doing just fine, my friend. You could play with Polygon. You could play with Phantom, which is really cheap too. Polygon's obviously cheaper than everything. My point being, in response to what you said, is that gas fees are not going to deter consumption or adoption at all for the majority. Clearly, for the minority, it does make people do different things, but gas is 200. People are cranking out hundreds of dollars of transactions, and they are not hesitating for a fraction of a second. What it ends up doing is it just creates different environments and ecosystems for different people with different portfolio sizes. Flame Ball, Noah, thanks for the chill, steadfast energy. Appreciate days like today. You're welcome, and a lot of shit going on today. Whew. What do you think of something like Serum? I don't have enough information to say an opinion. Exactly why you got a DCA slowly. DCA. It's meaningful. And one day, maybe you'll find your portfolio structure that gives you the conviction that I have. But you have to find your own path. And everyone has to find their own convictions, and everyone has to respect their own opinion, and everyone has to deal with their own anxiety and their own emotions. Respect yourself. When you respect yourself, you respect your portfolio, and that's how you outperform. Why did the banker quit his job? He lost interest. Boom! I love it. Tested, not even crypto, the best place to be. Uh, who knows what the best place to be is in a market like this? All I know is I'm content. Uh, uh, Britno man, what's up? What's up? Deeply, I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'll watch my language. Alex, Noah, newbie here. What's the difference with spell and S spell? S spell is stake spell, where you capture protocol transaction or protocol revenue from debt payments. S spell is staked spell. Love your content. Question: what would you do if you had a large 50 chip, not after investment advice? What would you do? Would you DCA or just dive big in CRV? If you're asking that question, the odds are you need time to acclimate to the realities of the DeFi space, the global macro financial system. I do have a recommendation: stablecoins, interest bearing positions. If you have not played around with a lot of markets, throw them on Aave, which is a bank. It walks and talks like a bank. It is a bank. You could even do USDC. They're going to regulate the crap out of it, which is going to drive people to not want to have it. But that doesn't mean the price point is going to do anything. Regulators aren't going to destroy billions of dollars worth of capital. They'll destroy markets, and then you'll have riots in the streets. So USDC on Aave, you get 3, 4, 5% of your money, and that's a big deal because those dollars, those same dollars, those units of account sitting in a bank account are getting jack shit. So that is always a great way to get a taste of DeFi just with dollars. MKP, a pleasure. More lobby. Do you DCA on days like this or you just hold your capital? I'm sitting back. I'm going to get off the stream. I'm going to go back to work. I keep my eye on the charts. I do my social media. My positions are solid. I got absolutely nothing to do. And sit back and know where things are heading. When BTC 100K? Inevitable. When? No one knows. But it's pretty much programmed in. And I think that's a valid statement. With regard to Bitcoin, I don't hold any Bitcoin. I don't hold any Ethereum for that matter. That's okay. I my narratives are a little bit bigger than folks that think, oh, everything but Bitcoin is not needed. Poop. S-spell is stake spell. Where to stake it? Abracadabra. Abracadabra.money. You go to stake. I'm not connected right now. Will it be possible to hold S-spell and Avalanche? I don't know how it's going to play out. Follow the boys on Twitter. Truly, have you checked out the MUSD Frax pool and Polygon? Yeah, I know about MUSD and Frax. Good APYs. Digilite, knowing my man is curved out long-term play, 5-10 years from me. I'm not. I just yesterday I reached my target quantity of CVX CRV. It's just a revenue producing asset capitalizing on or consume or distributing platform protocol transaction fees to governance. You're a lot of what goes on at DeFi is not what was originally what's talked about with regard to decentralization. These are businesses, these are enterprises, these are startups, there's venture capital and all that risk and volatility involved. And we're talking about monetary policies here. We're talking about sovereign properties of sovereign governments. This is some shit that you don't talk about with regard to legacy finance and business. I mean, Curve literally is very consistent with MMT, and they are a currency producer, a currency issuer, and they have the monetary policies they need to prevent excessive debasement. They have the capacity to introduce inflationary and deflationary pressures. In fact, it's a decaying hyperinflationary emission schedule with basically a net disinflationary, if not deflationary monetary policy because of the convex feedback loop. That's crazy. I don't care necessarily about degree of decentralization, albeit it's there with the DAO. So there's governance. It was a fair launch. There was I don't think there was excessive quantity held back from an initial launch standpoint for the team. The protocol generates revenue. It's a business. It literally generates transaction fees, and that's used to sustain daily operations. The furthest thing so many of these DeFi protocols are ICOs. It was vaporware back then. Vaporware, 100% pre-mined garbage. The token distributions, the DAOs, the sharing, the community. This is so not 2017 and 18. Andrew, can you use Allbridge for Solana to Matic? I'll wait for Ren VMs. I got to wrap this up. 62 people in the stream, 32 likes. We can do better, but I thank you all today. It's pretty good. What are futures? Basically derivatives where you're speculating on the price point of an asset. Yes, I do like ICE. Hey, Noah, if you were 22 right now, would you want to learn Solidity and Viper? React. You want to learn React, learn Flutter, because Flutter does web and Flutter does mobile. So Solidity, Viper, React, and Flutter. And there's some serious skills. You're going to be employed. I'm a Kotlin dev. I'm like old at this point. I bought Luna, SRM, AVEX today. Chimpleton, the bank test. If I walk and like a bank and talks like a bank, it's a bank. It's a damn bank. You put money in, they lend it out, you get the interest. Oh, Ave's a bank. Kyle, my man, what's up? Let's see. Let's scroll back down. Sorry. Hey, Noah, hope you're having a great day. What are your thoughts on UST as a multi-chain stable? That's a big narrative. I can't own everything I want to own, but if you check back earlier in the stream, that's one of the 4 assets I think are a big deal. Terra. Most of the DeFi content don't like anything that isn't Ethereum or Ethereum Secure L2. I don't see any extraordinary benefit of using Avalanche over Arbitrum or Optimism. Yeah, that's fine. Arbitrum and Optimism, good to go. Mims on Arbitrum. I'm a happy camper. Yeah, so that's a great place. That's a playground too. I didn't mention them when I was saying Phantom, Solana, Avalanche, Polygon. Arbitrum's hot right about now, boys and girls. Noah, with supply of curve going down, will the price? Yes, that's a disinflationary pressure. Noah, you have heard of GBM? I have not. How would he best be prepared to take advantage of Avalanche Rush incentives? For me, it's an XJO position. Thanks so much for your ideas. You're very welcome. What are your thoughts on Evergrande affecting the larger market? I think the whole system is going to be completely devastated, and we're going to have a serious deflationary event. And we'll see how scared the interventionists become and how hard they step in. And I expect absolute mayhem. Mayhem is approaching. I missed most of the stream, but Noah's heavy in Wonderland, right? I am not. I wish I was. I had a chance to get in, and I didn't, and that's okay. Can't own everything I want to own, but my opinion regarding Olympus DAO and Wonderland have changed significantly. I like them. I think they're meaningful. They're building a treasury and bonds. What an extraordinary implementation. Really is. Alan, thanks. Listen to George Gammon and agree with his analysis on the markets. I really like George Gammon. Who else do you listen to? Luke Roman. Ooh, Luke. Obviously, Raul, whenever he talks, he hasn't been talking much nowadays. Lynn Alden's always wonderful. And George. And I like contrarians like Stephen Van Meter. He's awesome. Last question. I got to wrap this up. Crypto makes everyone a China expert watcher. What's Evergrande? How's the Chinese real estate market? I'm not going to get into it in the last couple minutes, but it's basically the largest real estate company in China, 300 billion in debt, and they're defaulting on basically all of it. 76 people in the stream, 42 likes. We can do better. Monday, September 20th at 12:40 p.m. As always, thank you all for joining. Tell everyone to subscribe after party on Discord, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good day now. Peace.